Meet Britain's drug drivers.
We have kids in the car.
We've been tracking them down.
Stay away from me, lad.
So at this moment in time you're under arrest, all right, for a positive drug wipe.
Because police say they're now more of a problem than drink drivers.
Do you regret it?
Yeah, hugely, having the cocaine.
I've reported on the fatal consequences of drug driving.
But for all the police action, it's still taking months to get them off the roads.
Bad as it is, you know, you've ruined two people's houses, you know what I mean, but it could have been lives lost.
Can I ask you why you do it?
I don't want to be filmed.
This is what happened when we confronted Britain's drug drivers. 6:30 a.m, April Fool's Day. A car goes through a red light and hits a tractor. The consequences were dramatic. Thankfully, no one in either house was injured.
The driver of the car that started all that tested positive for cocaine. And the police have told us that drug driving is now a bigger problem for them than drink driving.
Over on the east, there's a drug driver at Knutsford driving around under the influence of cannabis. Intelligence suggests that he smokes in the morning prior to going to work.
You only have to listen to the morning briefing of the roads policing unit at Cheshire Police.
The drug driver at Alsager driving under the influence of drugs around Alsager and Holmes Chapel.
We're finding all sorts of people that sometimes that you wouldn't expect. There's people of all walks of life, all ages, all demographics. It's all times of day, lunchtime, early evening, overnight. We're finding people that often admit to us, you know, that they have some cocaine at lunchtime. Some people don't think that they're going to get stopped, they're not going to get tested. They'll think they'll get away with it and they keep driving.
So we go out on patrol to see what they're dealing with.
Impaired driving is one of the main catalysts for road traffic collisions. Certainly serious road traffic collisions where people, you know, have life-changing injuries, sometimes worse, you know, fatalities. A lot of that is down to drink and drug drivers, unfortunately.
It doesn't take long before there's a report of a car driving erratically.
Yes, thank you. I've got 0407.
The response is immediate, but the car couldn't be found.
I'd say it's bigger than drink driving nowadays. So most people we stop for sort of intoxicated driving are cannabis or cocaine users now.
Next up, we're looking for a red Audi, which information received suggests is linked to drugs.
Yeah.
The car is spotted and pulled over.
Hello mate, you okay? Right, yeah. Reason for the stop, mate, is this vehicle's been seen in suspicious circumstances a number of times, potential drug dealing or buy-in drugs, okay? Yeah. Due to that information, I do intend to search you under Section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act, okay, and conduct a roadside drug wipe on yourself, okay, which tests for cannabis or cocaine. It's not a stitch-up. Do you use cannabis or cocaine?
At night, yeah.
When was the last time you used it?
Last night.
It's probably going to come back positive then, my friend, all right? It tests within 5 days. Come and take a seat in the rear of the car.
Which side, mate? This?
We'll go rear passenger. What I require you to do is lean forward, get saliva on your tongue, and it'll be 3 or 4 wipes until I've got enough, all right? So it's 15:56 at this moment in time. You're under arrest, all right, for a positive drug wipe, so suspicion of drug driving.
The driver's then taken to the police station to have a blood test to confirm that roadside result. But as we've reported before, there's a backlog in processing those blood tests, and it can take months for the police to get the results. All the while, those motorists who failed a roadside test, remember, are free to drive. And we've reported on the cost of that in some cases, when those drivers re-offend when they're on bail and kill other people on the roads.
We're doing the work to get them off the road now today, but then we've got 8 weeks, but potentially up to sort of 4 or 5 months before we can actually confirm their blood results. We can't take them off the road. Without that, there is a frustration because they're probably committing that offence over and over realistically.
We showed you this at the start, a drug driver in North Yorkshire who flipped his car during a police chase. He was jailed. So who are they, these drug drivers? We wanted to confront them about what they've done and why. This is Crewe Magistrates Court, and today alone there are 10 people due in the dock for drug driving. One of them, the court heard, had 2 young children in the car when he was stopped by police under the influence of cannabis.
I'm from Sky News. Do you mind me asking you a quick question? Can I ask you a quick question?
That won't be interviewed, mate.
You pleaded guilty though.
That won't be interviewed, lad.
You had kids in the car.
Come on, mate. Stay away from me, lad.
He was given a suspended prison sentence and banned for 4 years. Others were equally reluctant to talk.
Can I ask you why you do it?
I don't want to be filmed.
Just a simple question.
Some did talk to us anonymously. This woman admitted driving under the influence of cannabis and cocaine.
I can't walk very well, so how am I going to cope without a car? It's obviously my own fault. I've just lost my partner of 17 years. I suffer with my endometriosis as well as a hole in my spine, so I was smoking the weed for that. The cocaine was a one-off use, it was a one-off time.
Do you regret it?
Yeah, hugely, having the cocaine.
Do you feel bad about that?
Yeah, about doing it, yeah. But at the time it took the pain away.
This man, convicted before for drug driving, was caught this time, he said, after overindulging at Christmas.
Yeah, it's bangs and rights. I've been smoking. I smoke it fairly regular, to be truthful.
Do you regret it? Do you regret driving?
Yeah, obviously, but at the end of the day, I've smoked cannabis. I passed my test on cannabis when I was 17. You know what I mean? So, not being funny, if you look round, there'll be many people that are driving under the influence of cannabis, and I've not had crashes for a bit.
He's a self-employed gardener and is now banned from driving for 3 years. And do you know what's striking about all the people we've seen here today? They failed their roadside test 4 months ago, but only now are they being banned. Well, remember that driver who hit the tractor and brought 2 houses down on April Fool's Day? What about him?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
This is Matthew. He pleaded guilty to drug and dangerous driving.
Can you talk about how it came about?
Yeah, certainly can, yeah. I'd actually been to a funeral the Friday before, so I wasn't feeling great anyway, and I ended up going out, and then one thing leads to another. I was under the influence, but there again, I had taken cocaine on the Friday. It was the Tuesday morning. I would never have got in the car. It was minuscule over it, but, I did do wrong, so. Where the tractor went through, another hour later, there's an actual bus where school kids actually queue up. So it could have been like 20 fatalities. And how would you ever live with that? You wouldn't, would you?
If you could talk to young people who are doing that, who are living that life, taking that risk, what would you say?
You're taking a risk, but I don't think they see it as a risk. They're thinking, oh, I'm not drink driving, I've had a line of coke, I've gone out. But it is, look at me for... It could have been so much worse. It could have been people dying. It was bad as it is, you've ruined 2 people's houses, you know what I mean? But it could have been lives lost, fatalities. And how would you ever get over that? Drink isn't the problem. If anyone thinks drink's the problem, it's cocaine. There's an epidemic out there.
But listen to this. He's now running counselling sessions for men like him who see no way out of the cycle.
What do you think the impact has been on you, all of what's happened with this?
Hopefully it's made me a better person, think of other people more. But I think other people that know me are best to judge that. I don't want to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm this great person, because I'm not. I'm flawed as everyone else is. But I'm trying, and that's what I want to do, just hopefully make a change.
Those houses that came crashing down that day have now been rebuilt, and in fairness to Matthew, he's fronted up about what he did and is trying to turn his life around. Not many of the others we've spoken to are doing that. How bad is this problem? Well, we've seen figures from a month-long nationwide police campaign targeting drink and drug driving. What do they show? Well, on drink driving, more than 52,000 breath tests were carried out during that month. The number of those who tested positive, 11%. But on drug driving, 8,000 people were tested during that month. The number of those who tested positive, 52%. More than half of them tested positive. That driver we saw being arrested did have his blood test that day, and he and the police are waiting for the result to confirm what the roadside test told them. There is technology to remove that delay altogether, to produce a sample good enough as evidence in court immediately. They use it in other countries. Would you welcome technology that could speed up that?
Yeah, it would be welcome. I mean, at the time, we just have to work with whatever we've got available to us at the time. Obviously, we've seen some good results, certainly within Cheshire. I think we arrested about 1,500 people last year for drug driving. So it's certainly, there's no limitation to us at the moment. We're still finding a way through it.
The Department of Transport told us the government's road safety strategy includes tougher, swifter consequences for drug drivers. But the reality right now is that if you're out on Britain's roads, it's very likely there's a drug driver somewhere near you.